Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money Channel. 8 monthly candlesticks, this coming from Nick Crypto Crusader. Guys, what Nick is telling us here is that the XRP chart has been hovering above significant resistance for 8 significant months now, okay? So he says, think about that for a quick second. While everyone is getting impatient and bearish on XRP, it's trading at $2 plus and above the 2017-2018 all-time high monthly closes for 8 months in a row. That is a huge, huge deal. I'm just going to get rid of some of those lines on the chart here. And, this is the monthly chart. If we are to just take a look at where XRP did close back over here back in December of 2017, that is significant resistance. So we're going to ignore the wicks there. And, even if we just take a look at even just going over to 2021, the next bull run over, we did top out at that level too. We did wick up. As you guys can see in there, we did wick up to that level before coming back down into another bear market. And now, guys, we are actually trading above that level for how many months in a row? So we cannot include that month. That would be December 2024. But other than that, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess technically this month did start under, but it did close over. So I guess that would be the 8 months in a row of closing above former support, which was in and around $2 per coin. So guys, that is significant. When this consolidation comes to a close and the expansion to the upside continues, everyone will be completely silenced. Bitcoin dominance is still over 60+%, and the largest wave of the cycle has still yet officially hit. This is what we're waiting for, the next wave of the cycle, and XRP with a very, very bullish setup here. Let's take a look at Bitcoin dominance for a second. Just to talk about that too, because the Bitcoin dominance is really going to be the indicator for when these altcoins really do take off. When we do see Bitcoin dominance plummet, and historically we've seen it come down into this level, down and around here. We saw that back in 2020, 2021, 2022. We also saw it in 2018. All right, 2017, 2018, that was the altcoin high or the market top before everything just crashed again and Bitcoin regained dominance. So we have seen Bitcoin slowly creeping up here. Historically, we've seen it top over 70% dominance. In this day and age, though, it's looking very different because a lot of these altcoins have now gained a lot more traction than they have in the past. Right now, we've got fear and greed at neutral, still in the 50s. Market cap is up by a little bit. CMC 100 also up by a little bit. We've got green on the board. It is looking fairly promising for cryptocurrencies like XRP. XRP trading in around $2.28 at the moment. Let's bring it back up on the chart, and I'm going to take that off the monthly. I'm going to throw that on the hourly now. And for whatever reason, it's bringing up the Coinbase chart, which doesn't have as much history on it as I like. But here we go. XRP, guys, on the 1 hour from Bitstamp. We did recently just see, within the last hour, we recently did just see XRP pop up to almost $2.30 here. Let's throw it back on the 5 minute just to show you guys. Yeah, so over the last 25 minutes or so, it did come up over here. It is coming back down. I wonder if we are going to see another raging move for XRP in the short term. Hopefully we do. Hopefully we can get up above significant resistance for all of these altcoins, really, but XRP is, my major position. For more information on where I think the market's going to go, because TA can only really tell us where the market's going to go in a spec run. I mean, there are some technicals that we do look at over there at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. The real world utility, though, that is a whole different beast. So follow me, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel if you're interested. Mr. Zoom here on Twitter is paying attention to that $2.30 wall for XRP. XRP knocking on that $2.30 wall. This weekly breakout seems weak, to say the least. Cannot comment on it yet. Let's see what happens next. Regardless, though, XRP will hit a new all-time high sooner rather than later. And to be quite honest, I tend to agree with this sentiment here. I'm going to throw this on the weekly, and I'm going to just throw some trend lines on here to show you guys that XRP is also forming what is looking like that bullish pennant pattern, that triangular, here, let me just get rid of some of that there, triangular pattern here that we really do just need to break up against, and that would be, $2.30 to start it off. I guess it always usually depends on what happens to Bitcoin first. If I were to just take a look at former resistance levels for XRP, I'll get rid of those again. Again, guys, we need to get up above former resistance. I feel like former resistance is crucial. That is about $2.65 per coin. So that is what I'm eyeing in the meantime, $2.65, $2.66, give or take. But again, it's all going to depend on Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is going to move when there's more money injected into the crypto space. Well, the economy at large. Ali Charts here saying this, okay, if the bull cycle mirrors the last two, we could be 6 months away from the next market top. So this is the Bitcoin price performance cycle since the all-time high. And this is where we're at today. 2023 cycle to 2027, that is in the red. We got 2017 to 2021. And now we've got 2021, guys, to 2025, dare I say. That is in the black. That is only in around here. And so diminishing returns, that's generally what we see for Bitcoin. So I don't expect it getting up past the blue level here. It's still going to get up higher. We just have to see how much higher. And again, for more information on my thoughts there, guys, follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. A lot of this is it's very fluid until it's not. The spec run is a lot easier to gauge, I think, in many ways. I mean, especially if you've been in a few of them. But the real world utility, that's what's going to really change things up. Micah Paul here also commenting, the Fed injected $2.5 billion in the overnight repo market in September of last year, and crypto took off in early November. So, just commenting on the fact that money has to be injected. That's going to come in the form of, printing dollars. It could come in the form of reducing interest rates as well. If you make it easy and cheaper for people to borrow money, they will borrow money and they will put it in the market. Micah is saying here, the Fed just injected $11 billion on the last day of June, and rate cuts are coming, which equals quantitative easing. Booyah. Let's go, guys. This is what we need. This is what we need for another big crypto push to the upside. So wanted to thank Micah, wanted to thank Ali Charts, wanted to thank Mr. Zoom, and of course, Nick Crypto Crusader here on Twitter. As the FOMO heats up, guys, there's going to be a lot more crypto scams out there like this one. Guys, did you hear about Toncoin's claim that you can get a crypto golden visa in the UAE if you decide to stake Toncoin a certain amount? Well, this is all BS. The UAE has now slammed Ton's crypto golden visa pitch, and the token did plummet 7%. So the UAE has officially rejected claims surrounding the golden visa offer tied to the cryptocurrency, leading to a 7% drop in the price of Toncoin. Apparently, though, it has since recovered. The rejection came through a joint statement released on Monday by 3 federal authorities, firmly discrediting the residency through staking pitch made by the open network. So, all these, you're going to get bad actors, guys. And I know, some of these coins seem legitimate at first, especially when they're pumping and they get a lot of traction surrounding them. But just be careful. I was here in 2021 when Terra Luna looked to be a promising cryptocurrency. So much so that even Mike Novogratz got a Terra Luna tattoo on his shoulder, and then the thing crashed. It was in the top 5, if I'm not mistaken, in 2021. So just be careful. I know Toncoin is high on the list here. Where are they located on the list? Let's just take a quick look. Number 19. So not quite in the top 10, but in the top 20. So just be careful about what you read. You don't want to be. Especially for when it comes to staking, you don't want to lock up your coins unnecessarily and then not be able to access them. Personally, I use cold storage. I am still a big fan of the Ledger Nano wallet. It's had its fair share of controversy, but I still stand by it. I've been using it for 7 years with no problems. I do have an affiliate link in the description of the video if you guys want to use my affiliate link. I put it there for ease of use. You can use it if you want. You don't have to use it. I just personally like the Ledger Nano. I do find that it is a very, very easy the interface is very easy to use, and it's just been, great for me this entire time. You don't have to use a Ledger Nano, though. What I do urge you guys to do is to keep your cryptocurrency safe. Not your keys, not your crypto. That's the motto we should all be going by. Don't keep your crypto on an exchange. And to be honest, staking your crypto at this stage in the game, not something I would do personally, but again, that's not financial advice. You do you, guys. I'm going to keep moving along because we also got President of the ECB, Christine Lagarde. She's coming out warning that stablecoins could trigger the privatization of money. Well, what she doesn't mention here is that money had been privatized at a certain point. That's history. Now governments run the system, and governments are run by the powers that be. And ultimately, I think this is a bit of a dig at President Donald Trump because the president is saying now stablecoins are going to be legislated in the United States. We got the Genius Act, but I think a lot of these other countries are going the CBDC route. Christine Lagarde, president of the European Central Bank, has expressed significant concerns over the rise of stablecoins. So let me be clear, guys, I'm differentiating between stablecoins and CBDCs, warning that these digital assets pose a threat to the monetary sovereignty and effectiveness of central bank policies. She says these lines are becoming blurred between money, payment methods, and technology infrastructure. She argued that stablecoins, often backed and issued by private companies, should not be classified as true money. Lagarde emphasized that the widespread adoption of stablecoins could lead to a privatization of money, shifting control away from central banks and undermining their ability to manage monetary policy. Yeah, so they're being threatened, and this is why she's speaking out. These digital tokens, often used as fiat substitutes, may weaken the influence of official currencies if left unchecked. She pointed out that firms like Circle and Tether could erode central banks' ability to steer monetary policy effectively. Well, maybe. It's not up to you, Christine Lagarde. And again, I'm pointing this out. I don't know if she mentioned it in her statement, but Donald Trump is changing the way the game is played. I have a feeling that if the Democrats got another 4 years, that we would not see stablecoin policy. We would have seen a CBDC ushered in, I think, and that kind of falls in line with the narrative of these banking superpowers. Christine did say she did affirm that the ECB support for the digital euro, describing it as a necessary step to maintain control over Europe's financial infrastructure in the digital age. The digital euro, a central bank digital currency, so a CBDC under development since 2020, is reportedly close to launch. So ECB looking to launch a CBDC, but under the Trump administration, regulations were proposed to encourage the use of stablecoins like USDT and USDC. Now, I don't think USDT is actually on the list, but RLUSD is certainly on the list. The PYUSD, PayPal's USD stablecoin as well. However, Europe is taking a more cautious approach, seeking to protect its monetary sovereignty with the development of the digital euro. And Donald Trump has, said, or not Donald Trump particularly, but his administration has said that by leveraging stablecoins, U.S.-denominated stablecoins, this is going to help bolster the U.S. economy and keep the U.S. dollar propped up as that world reserve currency as well. So it's a bit of a war of the currencies. We know Ripple has their RLUSD, and they entered the space just in time, I think, because the legislation is coming fast and furiously. Well, according to an XRP community member, Jesse, the legal battle between Ripple and the SEC is more like a carefully planned show. This one courtesy of Michael Branch. Jesse is from Apex Crypto Consulting. He recently discussed the Ripple SEC lawsuit. After spending over 9,000 hours researching Ripple and the global financial system, Jesse shared his thoughts and said that the lawsuit might not be what it seems. According to Jesse, the legal battle between Ripple and the SEC is more like a carefully planned show. It feels like it's being used to control XRP's price and allow Ripple to quietly build strong partnerships around the world. And, even if it was, we're over the SEC lawsuit now. And, Ripple has done what they've done. They've been very successful at doing that. In his opinion, though, Ripple's long-term goal is to make XRP a global reserve currency that can replace traditional payment systems like SWIFT. And so, XRP is going to be the lubricant. Of course, Ripple had to pivot a little bit. They did, as I mentioned, they did create their RLUSD, likely to fall in line with what the United States is doing with stablecoin regulation, the exact thing that Christine Lagarde is speaking out against. So, I almost feel like Ripple is playing both sides of this. They really do want to be in good with the U.S., okay, and the Trump administration. So stablecoin, definitely on the table. CBDCs, they're working to create CBDCs for island nations like the island nation of Palau, and I think a few other nations too, like Bhutan and a few smaller ones. So on the one hand, they're working with the powers that be. We know they are partnered with the World Economic Forum, for example. But on the other hand, they're playing ball with U.S. economic policy, more of a, I don't want to say libertarian because it's not entirely libertarian, but it is a little bit more freedom-focused, rather than the central bank digital currency route that is certainly going to be more controllable by governments and central banks around the world. So here we have it, playing both sides. Of course, at the end of the day, the real-world utility is really what's going to get XRP to those high prices, to the point where can TA even be utilized to speculate on XRP price in a world with real utility? Well, Unknown DLT posted this: there will be no TA that can anticipate the huge volume that will enter XRP when they activate the utility. The TA is only for the speculation market, looking to buy points, nothing else. The price of XRP in a utility market cannot be predicted with TA. So TA, of course, equals technical analysis, if you guys didn't know what the abbreviation is. And, I tend to agree with this. When we look at prediction models for real-world utility, we're always looking at different factors. I mean, if the TA lines up, then that's just a bonus. But, this is exactly why I started the Patreon, or why I pivoted the Patreon, because the TA is good for certain things. The speculation, if we continue in a speculative market, this is where it could go. But guys, where in fact could XRP go? How high could it go without TA? I mean, we've talked about the possibility of XRP going to double, triple, quadruple digits, maybe even a $10,000 XRP. And, I just wanted to show you guys one example of where the TA just got blown out of the water here. This is the Binance chart, the BNB chart on the weekly, and I'm going to bring up the BNB chart because it is a super, super bullish cryptocurrency chart. I actually probably should have bought in more BNB coin back in 2022. I did not take that opportunity. Binance had been mired in some controversy over the last few years, so I stepped away from it. This was my best trade, though, back in 2021. I purchased BNB coin at 20, I think it was somewhere around 24 to 25, $26, something like that, and I sold at about $651 per coin. So definitely my best trade in the last bull run. And if you take the top of the market, I'm just going to show you the TA on this and how this coin really did outperform the TA. This is just a typical Fibonacci. As you guys can see, Binance Coin did just outperform so well, went up even higher than what the top would have predicted here. So the 4.236, it went up another almost 650% from there. So what I have seen technical analysts do is line up the 0.236. Now, again, this is lining it up from the last bull market before that. So 2 bull markets ago, the beginning of January 2018, going down to the trough of the market, which would bring us down to the end of 2018. And you can see Binance even outperformed the Fibonacci at that price. So when you take it from here, though, guys, June 2019, okay, this is when Binance Coin did actually go up higher than its all-time high. Like I said, a super, super bullish chart. And you line that up with the next dip down, the bear flu, that would have been in March of 2020. Look at that. And again, this is lined up to roughly the 0.236. We pretty much pinpoint the top there. So I just wanted to show you guys this as an example of TA that really does outperform. Now, XRP, guys, I think we're set up for something very big at this moment in time. We are, as I mentioned at the top of the video, XRP has now been 8 consecutive months trading above the former all-time high from back in January of 2018. Let me just bring up XRP from Bitstamp here. And okay, let's take a look at what something similar would be here for XRP. If I were to just take that fib, and we've talked about these fib numbers ad nauseum, it could be a $7 XRP. If we do still stay in a spec market, it could be a $13 and change XRP, right? $14 give or take. Here, actually, I should probably make a note of some of those prices. So it could be somewhere in and around there. So it could be 13, and even conservatively, right? It could be 7 and change. But there is a likely possibility that we could see a Binance style run, guys. And if we see a Binance style run for XRP, we could get up as high as $55 per coin. Now I'm lining up the 0.236 here. And that would bring us to roughly 55, 56, 57, give or take, dollars per coin. Now, just going back to this theory here, guys, TA, this is only good in the spec market. And I have a feeling we could assume that if and when we do see this thing scale, we are really going to see these types of prices being blown out of the water. So maybe $57 is the bare minimum. Maybe we will, in fact, see. I mean, let's see how XRP does for this particular spec market. But I have a feeling that once we do see this thing scale, we are going to see a decoupling from Bitcoin. I think, XRP dominance is going to rise significantly. And so, the truth is still yet to be told. This is why I'm keeping a portion of my XRP for the long term. And for more information on what I'm doing for this particular bull run, portioning out my cryptocurrencies that I'm going to be selling, knowing full well that I'm going to be happy with spec market prices, but then holding a portion of my real world utility coins. You can follow me, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel to get all that info. I also do have the Working Money Channel merch store if you guys are interested in, maybe supporting the channel in a different way. Every little bit counts. I really love it when you guys come over there, purchase some merch. I do have a link in the description of the video. So thanks so much to all of you guys that have been purchasing the merch. I really, really do appreciate it. But that's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.